Good evening to all of you. Thanks, Dr. Khanna, for the opportunity. I was asked to speak on, can I have the slides there? On renal denervation, another new innovative procedure which is coming up in cardiology. Apart from, unlike the previous talk in which has a lot of technical challenges, this renal denervation is, I feel, is a relatively simple procedure which all the cardiologists could adapt. Initially, it was tried to project into the EP field, but there's nothing about EP there, but for the RF energy which is used for the delivery. Anybody who can do renal angiogram could confidently do this. But what is most important is in which type of patients it should be done and how this therapy should be monitored. These are some of the things which I will cover up and presenting some of the available data with various types of systems in the coming 10 minutes or so. This slide brings best wishes from Continental Hospital, which I recently took over the responsibility to head this institute, and we are fortunate enough to be one of the centers selected for this Medtronic RDN study on renal denervation, which is about to be started. Most of the talk I have borrowed from a chapter which I have written along with Dr. Venkatesh Ram, which was in the hypertension book, which was released during the last ACC. Renal sympathetic denervation application in resistant hypertension and beyond. To define the resistant hypertension, as you all know, any patient who has more than 140/90 pressure, in spite of using 3 drugs, with one of it is being diuretics, is generally labeled resistant. European Society recently modified saying that in diabetes, anything more than 135/85 and CKD more than 130/90 itself could be taken as resistant patients. And most of these RDN trial patients, they've taken patients of more than 160 mm systolic pressure. And one more important thing is there should not be any obvious secondary treatable cause of hypertension. One word of caution, which you all know, sometimes these improper BP measurements and non-compliant patients and inadequate drug therapy, taking very small dose of antihypertensive therapy, could sometimes lead to high pressures, which is not really resistant. So you need to rule out all this. And we also need to rule out the secondary causes, which we all know, before we take up these patients for hypertension. What bothers all of us is, in spite of having large volume of drugs which we have, about 1/3 to 1/2 of these patients have still resistant hypertension. So that's the idea came in, apart from the drugs when they're inefficient, can we treat hypertension by any sort of intervention? So these two technologies are being tied, renal sympathetic denervation and baroreceptor stimulation. Baroreceptor stimulation, though it had some encouraging results, the procedure itself need to be more simplified because of its procedure-related problems and complications. This is not popular. And what is more simpler and better, which can be applicable, is renal denervation. We all know the role of sympathetic nerves in hypertension, and we were trying to see whether we could modulate these. Renal arteries, again, with their innervations in and around, form good source for us to modulate this renin-angiotensin system and also sympathetic system. Then we know from surgical experienced colleagues way back from 1953 that thoracolumbar surgical sympathectomy worked very well and caused significant decrease in high blood pressure values of these patients done for this procedure. The problem with this was it was causing a lot of postural hypotension. Patients used to be coming on stretchers and wheelchairs. So that's how that therapy could never become popular. Taking back that knowledge, can this procedure be performed less invasively by using catheters? That's a concept this RDN company, which was initially RDN, now taken over by Medtronic. The Simplicity catheter, which is a 4 French catheter system, came into popular, and then Simplicity 1, this was basically done to give RF energy serially from distal to proximal, about 6 to 8, depending upon the renal anatomy. It went on through a series of evaluations. Simplicity of hypertension 1, 2, and 3 is presently on. I will briefly touch upon this. That's how the energy is delivered. It starts from distal extent and come back to the proximal. One word of caution, what we need to see is circumferentially we should not deliver energy in the same point so as to avoid development of renal artery stenosis. That's how the series histologically it is proven. Simplicity 1 trial initially took resistant hypertension of more than 160 and with normal renal function. First, it has proven that initially the criticism was it could produce renal artery narrowings and complications. Simplicity Hypertension 1 showed that it is relatively safe with no deterioration of renal function, with no orthostatic complications like the earlier surgical version, no electrolyte disturbances. Simplicity Hypertension 1 showed there is a significant fall in both systolic and diastolic hypertensions, blood pressure values, which are persisting, and the responder rates were 89%, and the response rates further increased to about 92%, a 2-year follow-up. Now we have 3-year follow-up data presented. But people criticized it, saying that it could be like a placebo effect. Some of these patients could be more stricter. The Simplicity 2 was planned in a randomized fashion in which one group was given sympathetic denervation, other group was kept on drug therapy. It's about 50 plus patients in each of these arms. Baseline characters, as mentioned here, were same in both the groups. And then this also proved that this procedure is safe, and ambulatory blood pressure monitoring was also included here in this trial, and both home clinic as well as ambulatory blood pressure monitorings significantly fell in about 20 mm systolic and 12 mm diastolic in both these groups. People went on to study the mechanisms, how this works, and then we came to know that sympathetic nerve stimulation significantly decreased after this procedure. Then people said that this procedure done itself by patient as well as doctor could lead to sometimes bias. So Simplicity 3 is being planned now, in which both group of patients are being taken for the procedure. In one group, RDN is done, other group, only renal angiogram will be done. But later on, after 6 months, if pressures are higher, they would be also taken. This is being randomized in 2:1 fashion, and the results are yet to be seen. That's how this is a cartoon which shows how the lesions will be produced by RF energy delivery. The other type of system is Boston Scientific Vessix RDN system. The advantage of this is there are 8 electrodes on the balloon. This is more user-friendly, more like a coronary balloon, and this goes on 014 wire. And the advantage with this is supposed to be the energy could be delivered at one go. That's how it is placed in the renal artery, and then electrodes are all shown here, and it will save time, and at one point of time you can deliver energy through all the catheters. That's how the system looks, very compact and user-friendly methods. And this is one of the pictures of Vessix system in which it is being delivered. The short reduced hypertension pilot study, which was recently presented in EuroPCR, also showed that this system was also safe. With significant reduction in systolic pressure, they claimed that this method could be better alternative because of more fall of systolic and diastolic pressures than the RDN model. The other thing which is coming up is Enlig hypertension catheter of St. Jude's. Again, this has a quadripolar catheter. Then this is how the energies are delivered. Very preliminary data which has come up, and then this has significant falls of pressures both in systolic and diastolic. We have 6 months follow-up data of this study. These 50 patients were studied in this. Then various postulations came up that whether this RDN could work in all the patients of hypertension, because hypertension pathology is so variable, and then whether these effects could be long-lasting or can sympathetic renervation occur. So we need further long-term studies to see the real benefits of this technique of treatment of hypertension. What is the future of renal sympathetic denervation? Then we need more proof of efficacy studies like Simplicity 3, Relief, which are being studied. And this being therapy expansion is also being studied in all the areas where sympathetic nervous system could play a role, like congestive heart failure, diabetes, arrhythmias, and it's also found to be beneficial in impaired glucose tolerance. This could be also very applicable in our Indian subset where you find a lot of metabolic syndrome patients, and it's supposed to be increasing insulin sensitivity and also better the glucose control in these patients. We also have data that after doing this therapy, there could be less episodes of ventricular tachycardias and atrial fibrillations happening. And then this slide shows that it is also could be beneficial in sleep apnea. So some of the technological advances which could happen are other novel forms of RF ablation catheters, like what is come up in Vessix already, and ultrasound ways. Again, ultrasound could be also used apart from RF for renal denervation. Other method which is being tried is guanethidine, which is again more popular in Asterera for antihypertensives. This balloon, when it is inflated, could inject this drug into the system and cause the modification of sympathetic denervation. These are various types of sympathetic denervation systems approved, CE marked. Simplicity is one which is about to come to our country, and this is a St. Jude's, this is a Boston Scientific. This one-shot Covidian and this ReCor medical system is using ultrasound for the therapy. Last slide. Currently, European Society recommends its guidelines. As mentioned, anybody who has more than 160 pressure with more than 3 drugs and excluding out secondary causes with normal renal function. Final thoughts about this. This is a procedure which needs to be, probably will be more efficacious, need long-term studies to see in all sets of hypertension subgroup of patients. Thank you very much for patient hearing. I bring your all attention to coming up ACVS India conference in August 2nd weekend, which we do in partnership with TCT. Dr. Khanna closely participates in this. Thanks again. One of the live demonstration which was done by him was shown in the recent last evening's presentation. I request all of you to block these dates and join in Hyderabad. Thank you very much.